Boy, shuba duba die. This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee. Some people have that wrong philosophy that politicians can save a country. They never try and do it spiritually. And now the system exploding on we. The country in a recession, a big change from the old time religion. Mankind rewriting history in a modern but a bad version. We living in our final days. Take a look and change your ways. Our beautiful country, going back to slavery days, only a prayer for the land can stop drug violence and crime. A prayer for the land, yes, these are the signs of the end of time. A prayer for the land, the price of living, man, is so high. A prayer for the land, that even the rich like the poor cry. You say you're concerned and care, we country living in fear, but all are we born right here. So let's say a prayer, the Almighty Father will hear. And I see, did and bad,
Shut alive, shut alive.
Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. My world standard gone way down the drain. Little children using rum, crack and cocaine. It seems like wicked-itions gone insane, and everyone playing the dirty game. Too much guns and drugs in the country, owned by Tom, Dick and Harry. But if you're wrong, you must pay for it, for the law, no one above it. Put an end to victimization, oppression and segregation. It's not a good thing for this country, so let's try and wipe it out totally with a prayer for the land, of fire and brimstone go burn with it. A prayer for the land, some say they're picking out who should get paid. A prayer for the land, and that's why the prisoners burn down the jail. A prayer for the land, one day it must prevail. Please don't let this country become an next Haiti. No peace, no unity. Bow down humbly, the Almighty will answer it. Oh yeah. Shuba duba die. Oh God Almighty, show some mercy on this our country. They now call we terror Paradise Island. No longer a country where peace abound. Yes, I used to boast about my land of beauty, the freest nation with democracy. But now we are the capital for drug pushers and money launderers. Shame and scandal is on we, sake is tarnish universally. Some blame it on the politicians for the unstabilized conditions. We going from bad to worse, Our blessed country now close, but a prayer for the land will help us to live with other people. A prayer for the land, for that's why the nation in big trouble. A prayer for the land, united we stand, divided we fall. A prayer for the land, citizens answer your duty call. Righteousness exalts a nation. The most I hate poor man depression. So I'm calling on everyone to take a stand. Take it, listen to my song. Did a bad over boy.
You're the large, you're the large.
Shuba duba die. What? This blessed country, oh land of beauty, I pray for thee.
Son of the man, King Craig, the mighty Craig there. A prayer for the land, a prayer for the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. My good people, I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. Yes, you heard it right. DJ Mauricio is right here in the good old Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And if you're surfing the web or just bouncing around on social media and you're running to us, I'm DJ Mauricio, comes to here weekly on a Wednesday afternoon from 6 to 8. Due to the CPL games, I'm coming in a bit early from 5 to 7 this afternoon. So let's take a quick listen to this clip of what this program is all about. Stand by.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you heard it right. DJ Mauricio is here every Wednesday evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But due to the CPL this evening, I'm coming to you a bit early from 5 to 7 so that we can give you cricket fans the opportunity to go and look at your CPL games. At this point in time, I'm going to bring you some entertainment from across the Narrows. There is my boy Carbo over there in Fountain. Have some lovely goat water and fungi and fish on that end. So let's hear what Carbo have to say to us this afternoon.
Carbo's, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Carbo's Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Carbo's Fungi and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Carbo's and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Carbo's, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over, you got the food all over.
Yes, you heard it right. Carbo have the food all over there in the island of Nevis. Carbo also does deliver there on the island of Nevis and here in our beloved St. Kitts. So when you reach out to the man Carbo, just tell him DJ Mauricio sent you. Now let's take a listen to my girl, Sister Carmen. They have Carmen Caterers here, what she have to say to us this afternoon.
Girl Sandra, You know where you can find nice, fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food that is finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
You heard it right. You don't want nothing more than that lovely food that Sister Carmen served there at Shirley from Monday to Saturday, 12 noon to about 5 p.m. And on a Sunday, you find her right there in the bus stop over there in Boyd's Village, right across from the Agara shop. So that's Sister Carmen. Check her out. Let her know DJ Marisha sent you. Let's take a listen to what my boy, brother Malvern Gums have to say out of the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there. And you know, my good people, this evening, as I promised last week, I'll be coming to you with some updates about my brother there, Lord Black, who has disappeared, found deceased, and is now laid to rest. But there's lots to talk about that home in the area there where he was residing, in the Sadler's area. But before we get into that, I'm going to drop a track here by my boy Winston Soso, the late great Winston Soso, because throughout this entire process, I have been doing my investigation and some things just don't add up. And it's just too much corruption taking place in our little beloved federation. So let's take a quick listen to my boy here, the man Winston Soso. nowhere to hide, ain't nowhere to run. Brother Benta, tap your screen, open your mic there. How are you doing? Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening to you and your listening audience.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the ride.
Thank you. Love this ride.
Yeah, boy, gonna be a serious ride this afternoon.
Yes, I can tell.
It's gonna be a serious ride. Too much corruption in the place, you know. Before we get into the quick chit chat, I'm going to drop Dwyer's commentary for today that we could have starting. So before I do that, as usual, I know you've been here a couple of weeks and you might figure that everybody know who Mr. Benta is. They're still calling you all kind of names. So if you can give a quick synopsis of who you are before we get going.
Sure, thank you. And to your listening audience, and thank you for the inquiries. My name is Oakland Benta. I'm an ex-chief of police of the U.S. Virgin Islands, an ex-senator of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I am an ex-vice president of a telecommunication corporation, overseeing several banks, from TV stations to many walks throughout the world. And as such, I've been very close to some of the countries as a consultant on the CARICOM, as well as what's taking place here today as we begin to move towards the new development of the nations on the status of BRICS and, of course, the Bitcoin. So I come with Mr. Marisha here to bring and enlighten as much as we can based on the issues surrounding the world and domestic. Good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you, Brother Benta. Did you watch the debate last night, the United States debate between the Trump fella and the Harris lady?
I sure did. I sure did.
Okay, I think that should say enough. We're not going to waste time on that one this evening.
Yes.
All right, so let's take a quick listen to Brother Dwyer's Astafan commentary and we're going to come right back into the business. Stand by.
Greetings. The Bible starts with the book of Genesis and ends with the book of Revelations. A couple of commentaries ago, I tried to outline the genesis of the culture of violence, drugs, and guns in this country. And in the process, I provided some revelations. We continue today. In that earlier commentary, I had started with the murder of police officer Stafford Grant in or about 1982. Those were the days when the trafficking in guns, ammunition, and cocaine began. We were told that Stafford Grant had had a misunderstanding, let us put it that way, with a powerful person, and untouchable, who among other things was at the time reputed to be a major trafficker in guns and other things. You can imagine how frightening it would have been for people in 1982, 42 years ago, to be awakening to the news that a young police officer had been shot the night before to the head in Frigate Bay. The new toxic culture had begun to manifest itself. We are told that Grant had seen something that night which he ought not to have seen. We are told that there was a habit of people bringing in guns and cocaine to beaches in that area. What did Stafford Grant see that he shouldn't have seen? And the authorities of the day wanted us to believe that Grant had committed suicide. Many of us didn't believe it, but many of us didn't allow it to linger in our consciousness, and certainly not in our consciences. So it disappeared into thin air. A big mistake, because it was the signal of things to come. The cocaine was not only coming in by sea, it was also coming in by air. Those of us who were around at the time will recall the small planes coming from Colombia, landing at the airport in the dead of night, an unlit runway, loaded with cocaine, guns, cash, and other things, because money laundering of the cocaine cash was also now in play in St. Kitts and through St. Kitts to other islands. And these flights would be met at the airport by certain untouchables who would unload the deadly cargo, walk it through into the country, and there was nothing that the security agencies could do about it. Those were the launching days of the criminal culture that we are living today. Those were the days when the administration in power, deceptively enough, started the mantra that St. Kitts Nevis was the freest nation in the world. Yes, the cocaine and the guns and the blood money were flowing in freely, for sure. And in true mafia style, some of that dirty money was used to compromise and corrupt people, and in time, our society. The cocaine suppliers in the south and the gun sellers in the north had found a nice little market and transshipment point in St. Kitts for their goods of death and their blood money. But even more than that, while some of that money went into private hands and increased the money supply in the economy, some of it also went into the effort to preserve the political status quo in the country, in the process cementing the culture of criminality, cocaine and guns in St. Kitts, and the money laundering, much of which was done by local untouchables. That too was prospering. And there are stories about some people who laundered money or in some other way ran afoul of the Colombians, who sooner or later were made to pay the ultimate price for it. That was also the beginning of business for killers for hire, business for hitmen in our country. It never ceases to amaze me that the people who live in that world of crime have no hesitation in carrying out the death penalty against others who offend them, but they don't want the formal official judicial system to carry out the death penalty on them. The story continues. Also in the 1980s, the administration of the day allowed a reform school for young American criminals to set up operations here in Bastia, St. Kitts. These criminals were welcomed with open arms by the government. They started to influence local youth. They gave a lot of trouble in the island until finally one of them killed another and the school was closed down. They had come here, bad habits, spoiled rotten, criminalized, pants below their bums, hand signs, gang signs, tattoos, foul language, gangster talk, attitude and all. Welcome with open arms. This was another milestone on the road to contamination, corruption, dehumanization, destruction and death of our fragile society. But there was even more. In my previous commentary, I had mentioned Police Superintendent Jude Matthew, who had been shot to death, again, gangland style, on October 13, 1994. Months before his murder, specifically on Sunday, June 19, 1994, Dr. William Herbert, the first leader of the People's Action Movement, and at the time our country's ambassador plenipotentiary, had disappeared at sea while on a pleasure boat ride with other persons. Scotland Yard were brought in to investigate. They did a report, but we heard nothing more. In that same summer of 1994, a shipment of nearly 2 tons of cocaine on its way from Colombia to the United States was landed at a beach here in St. Kitts for onward passage to the United States and was stolen. And within days, a son of the then Deputy Prime Minister was killed. 2 other sons of the Deputy Prime Minister were charged with illegal possession of guns and cocaine, but they were released and they left the country, and that created great anger and triggered a prison riot. Superintendent Matthew was given the task to investigate the killing of the Deputy Prime Minister's son and related matters. He had come very close to the United States law enforcement authorities and was doing work here on their behalf. And they, of course, were very interested in what was happening in St. Kitts. So in the process of his investigation, Superintendent Matthew obtained a warrant to enter and to do a search at a specific location here in Bastia, where it was believed that sensitive information on certain persons was being held. But as he left his home to go to that place on the morning of October 13th, 1994, he was shot to death in his vehicle coming out of his driveway. Never allowed to get his hands or set his eyes on that information. Silenced forever, sent to his maker. Big names had to be protected. The culture of violence, drugs, criminality by this time was deeply embedded in our country. A young man was tried 3 times for the murder of Superintendent Matthew, but was never convicted. That young man too was later murdered. As a result of all of this violence and drug stories and so forth, the international media labeled St. Kitts Devil's Island, and the administration of the day collapsed as a result of all of these scandalous things that were happening. In an article dated June 30th, 1997, the New York Times, referring to the events in St. Kitts of 1994 and related events, quoted a U.S. government official as saying, and I quote, "Of all the places in the English-speaking Caribbean, St. Kitts came closest to becoming a narco state, and it is still under great pressure. The government, meaning the new Labour administration, is doing its best, but it has limited resources." Those are the words attributed to the U.S. government official about what had happened in St. Kitts leading up to 1994. It is important to note also that during the 1980s, the guns and drugs traders in the region started networking, working together. Hitmen would travel from one place to go and do a hit in another. Shipments would pass through. People were working together. They had their own, if you will, chamber of commerce and legal system, a serious threat to the stability and security of each island and of all. So by the time the Labour Party was elected in 1995, they found a deeply embedded culture of guns, violence, drugs, and criminality, and pharmaceutical drugs. It was now their job to clean up this mess and to reverse the deadly culture. But that did not happen. The new Prime Minister did not seem to understand the troubling inheritance that had been passed on to him and its disastrous implications. Or if he understood the problem, he didn't pay it sufficient attention. Complex situation. Indeed, while he held the Ministry of National Security for the first 9 years of his tenure, 1995 to 2004, his cabinet secretary was the one who actually oversaw the security agencies of the country, and nothing particularly remarkable was conceived or was effected during those 9 years. So the bad situation that had been inherited got no better. Indeed, when you leave a cancer untreated, it gets worse. And the Prime Minister of the day did not help change the mood and mentality of the country by some of his very reckless and irresponsible utterings, such as, "I am 10 man in one, and I bad since I born." These are comments and examples which are the exact opposite of what vulnerable, marginalized, deprived youth and their families need to hear and see from an elder, worse yet from the leader of the country. When I was given the Ministry of National Security in 2004, the problem had become even worse. By that time, more and more people in security and enforcement agencies, in the public and private sectors, in the general community, had succumbed to the culture of corruption and compromise. The culture had become virtually systemic, widespread, rooted. I tried to reach out to the gangs, to the private sector, to the social stakeholders, to my colleagues in government, to the political community, but just about everybody ignored me, except for the gangs. Programs like Men at School, the Circle of Peace, proposals like the National Security Development Fund, and those for law reform, social, economic, and human development intervention strategies, criminal justice initiatives, and so forth. All of these things received virtually no support from my colleagues or from the political or business communities. All proclaimed, mind you, that they wanted to end violence and crime and the gangs and so forth, but most of them did nothing. I pleaded with my then leader for the tools to do the job, for the facilitation, for the support. He did not deliver. For the most part, all I got from my cabinet colleagues were complaints and criticism. Truth be told, a number of people from whom I had expected cooperation, support, and even guidance in the fight to arrest and reverse this deadly culture were either apathetic or afraid, or themselves busy engaging in their own criminal behavior, ripping off the poor, ripping off consumers, ripping off the government, ripping off taxpayers, ripping off. And as much as I tried to make the case that if we were serious about controlling crime and controlling the situation in the country so that we could change the culture to one of peace, positivity, productivity, equity, and the rule of law, then we had to bravely and relentlessly tackle all kinds of crime. Gun crime, drugs crime, business crime, government crime, politics crime, parental crime, spousal crime, boyfriend and girlfriend crime, church crime, all kind of crime. But hardly anybody took me on. I resigned from cabinet in 2008. My friend Sam Conda succeeded me. He suffered a similar fate. No support, no cooperation. So many people seemed not to care or to understand the complexity of the problem and the need for a determined multidimensional approach. Meanwhile, there was a change in administration in 2015. But unfortunately, the new leader, like his predecessors, provided more window dressing and bad policies, which led inevitably to failure to rid this country of the culture of violence, drugs, and guns. Indeed, during his tenure, criminality, both the violent and the white-collar varieties, the drugs, the crazy pills such as ecstasy and Molly, the protection and extortion rackets, etc. These things thrived at the expense of taxpayers, and the situation with regard to dependency, underproductivity, responsibility, etc. worsened. And again, with the help of taxpayers' money, honestly earned money, in came more guns, in came bigger guns. In short, what had been a serious threat to national stability and security in 2015 got only progressively worse for the next 7 years. And that regime collapsed in 2022, and in came the new and present Labour administration. It has made some valiant efforts in some cases, and some serious blunders in others. But I think that the Prime Minister has come to fully understand the severity and complexity of the problem and its destructive potential for our fragile nation in all areas of life. And it is my hope that he and his colleagues will demonstrate the will to take appropriate measures, no matter how uprooting those appropriate measures may be, in order to navigate our land of beauty onto a path of sustainable stability, security, serenity, and success. We can't continue with this culture of violence and guns and drugs and dependency and entitlement and underproductivity. We cannot continue. It has to stop. But even with the best intentions, neither this administration nor any other can do it alone. From you, the public, and from all of the stakeholder groups, including the political parties. Disagree on strategies and methods, agree on the big picture, and discuss these things. Because ideas from the opposition can be accepted and adopted by the government. Why not, if they're good ideas? This is a chance at the top level to start the healing of this nation. Remember, we don't have any moral authority to complain about the culture of guns and drugs and violence and gangs if we are not willing to cooperate in eradicating it. We have no moral authority to point a finger and use the word corruption and incompetence if we are corrupt and incompetent ourselves. So now we have a summary, but hopefully a clear view of the genesis of this thing. And you've had your share of revelations today. Now it's time to decide what you're going to do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Brother Ben, tap your screen, open your mic there. Today, September 11th, is a very serious day in the US of A, more so in the New York area. This is the day where 2 aircraft ended up in the World Trade Center buildings, shutting down the entire space around the world, around the globe. I was there to witness it. I don't know where you were.
I was in Palm Beach and the private jet just took off, and we had to turn back around on our way to some meetings, other places, but we had to turn around and land at the closest airport. That was the order of the national security and all alike. Anything other than that in the air would be taken down. So we immediately turned around, yes.
That was the instructions. Anything you see flying must be shot down from the sky. That was a serious day. And as I go through the last couple of weeks in our beloved Federation, that is the kind of feeling I'm having in. The state of affairs, the seriousness of how people's life are at risk. I think for some week you heard me speaking about this MSR Media RICO case, and it seems to be bearing some fruits. Yesterday seems to be a day of reckoning for a good friend of mine. Since he became CEO of the CIU, the Citizen by Investment Unit, he has been too busy to say hi, but I understand. Yesterday during a stakeholders meeting, my good buddy there, the man Michael Martin, resigned his post as the CEO. He will leave the CIU on 30th of September. Brother Martin departure comes in less than 2 years after he was appointed as the CEO. Well, we all know that people don't just resign like that when they have a job to do. So whatever it is, I think all of these resignation and terminations, we need to get some answers from the power that be, We can't just continue to hear this person gone, this person left, and not get some update, because as I've said time and time again, I campaigned for a better government when I went after the former administration. And I don't think I am getting enough information from this new administration. Their PRO system is really whack, to put it simple. They need to communicate more with the general public, and these things don't leave people to make their own judgment, because then you make your own judgment, they get upset and say you're cussing the government. No, we need information. You campaign on a particular platform to do certain things in your manifesto. It's been 2 years plus. There are some things that you have done. There are some things you have not done. Come back and explain to us. Give us the update. I want to know what you have done, what you have not done, what is the reason for it. We have campaign season coming up very shortly. What are we going to tell the people then? You got to tell the people something if you want them to support you again in the cause. And as I've said week after week, I'm not going to be here spinning for anybody. So I would hope that somebody basically come out and start giving some updates, because I am getting weary of not getting information that we need to get. Brother Benter, I said last week I'm going to give some updates on Brother Lord Black situation there at the elderly home there in Sadlers, where he resides. Now, I do not know if folks recall some time ago I was giving some information in regards to I had put a family member in that home. And that home in particular, it's the correct name for that home, the registered name for that home is the Renewed Life Elder Care Limited. It's owned by Dr. Stanley. I now refer to it as the Stanley Elder Home, but it's the Renewed Life Elder Care Limited. And, when you're going to have a business and you're going to charge someone at a minimum $2,500 per month to take care of their loved one because they're not in a position to take care of themselves, you expect for that $2,500 that you're paying monthly, that you're getting the care that you're contracted to get, right? And I can say that for me, I thank Dr. Stanley when she originally accepted my call and accepted my family member at her home. But as I progress this evening, I'm going to break it down for the people to know that it's not everything that you see before you mean that is good, you know. Because when I took my family to that home, I felt a sense of comfort because you had a few people there that I knew, that my family knew. I'm not going to call the other patient's name because I don't want to breach anybody confidentiality. But I think the general public is well aware of Conce Edwards, the Lord Black who stayed there, went missing, and now deceased. So I could call his name. So it was good that my family knew someone that she can communicate with. When I checked my family into that home, it was not a permanent stay, you know. I checked my family into that home to get some information to see what was going on with her, to get tests run, to give us, the family, some basic information to see what we are dealing with, that we will know where to go next. This was last January. The family member was checked into that home. And when I checked the family member into that home, she was placed in a private room to the back. And I was told by the good doctor that that room in particular is normally be used by another person that comes in from time to time for rest. But she showed me another room on the opposite side that was under renovation, and assured me that by the time the other person is ready to come for her rest, the other room will be finished for my family to be moved into that private room. Well, lo and behold, you know, Brother Benter, I came back to St. Kitts on a visit. And you say you was a chief of police, but I don't know if you was in the National Guard like myself. You know, we used to have some cats lined up side by side.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when I came back to St. Kitts and go to that home to visit my family member, outside in the entrance of the hallway, just a wall separating the kitchen and that walkway, like a living room. That is how the beds are lined off. Not even a foot apart, several beds. And my cousin is in one of those beds. My family member is one of those beds, right? And it's only recently, while discussing with my cousin, which is the daughter of this family member, I found out that the individual visited the home to see how her mother was doing, and was very upset with what she saw, to the point that she was making preparation to come and get her mother into another area, someplace else. All of these things was kept away from me. I did not get that information because they did not want, I guess, to get me upset. But something she explained to me last week that really got the better of me, really a week and a half ago, is that when she went to visit her mother, just as those beds line off side by side, no curtains, no privacy, when she got there, there was another patient sitting on a commode, taking a shit right next to her mother. This is what we were paying $2,500 a month for. I have a problem with that. I just got this information, like I said, a week and a half ago. So I start there to give a sense of where I'm going this evening. Because since the situation with Brother Black, I have been doing some investigation into the laws and guidelines for these senior homes, nursing homes in the Federation. And Brother Benter, it's heartbreaking to know there's no laws. There's no regulations. There's no rules. I look high and low. I speak to the Department of Health. I speak to the people who are responsible for this thing. And I am told, finally, truthfully, because I am asking the police commissioner, I am asking the police department, how could someone in the capacity of a doctor who holds a license to take care of patients charging that amount of money lose an individual, a whole man, 70 plus years old, without any accountability? On the 1st of August, this man went missing. We find him on the 9th of August, and we're going to get into that in a bit. And to date, the police still doing investigation. From the 1st of August, the man was found on the 9th. It's been a month since we found him in the Saddlers Mountain, deceased. He's been buried, and the police is telling me now they're still investigating. What is there to investigate? I learned through my training at the NYPD, when you see a crime, you don't have to have all the counts. You just need one. You charge that person with one count, let the prosecutor do the rest. Let the district attorney do the rest. This doctor, this good doctor, in my view, is guilty of criminal negligence. You lose a whole man. The man went missing on the 1st of August, 2024. You never inform his family who is paying you until the next day, the 2nd. I learned of the man missing through social media. I took it upon myself to go up there to assist with the search because of what I saw on social media. I went through the pain of going into those hills, going down to the seaside, walking the streets of Saddlers, interviewing people. Every morning I drive around all the way as far as the Tabernacle. Pick up my boy, the brother Albert Ruben, to keep my company at one point, to try and find cons. And this good doctor, who's supposedly being paid a handsome money for some 4 years plus, to me did not show any care. And why I think she don't show any care? Through my investigation, it was alleged that is not the first time this man went missing. Well, if this man went missing before, it should have been a second time around. The police have all of this information. What I am saying, the police have all of this information. My issue is why the matter is so quiet. Why this home was not closed down immediately. Why more serious step has not been taken to address the matter of this home. And I'm going to be going back and forth because through my investigation, there are some things that come into my attention that is very hurtful, very disappointing, because we are going into 41 years of independence. Most of our prime ministers, the 4 of them, 3 of the 4 was medical doctors, you know. And the other one called himself Dr. Harris. So all of him is doctor in my book. And you're going to tell me, from 1983 to present, these homes open up in St. Kitts and Nevis and there's no regulations to govern them. What I am finding out from the Department of Health, the process to how that home, in that particular home was open, because I'm dealing with just that home this evening. The process for that home to open up and take in people was they going to apply for a business license. You know, when you go to apply for a business license for anything, yes, whether you want to open a mechanic shop, a bar shop, a restaurant, that is where you go to apply for a business license. That is the first step. Following that, apparently somebody from the health department will go to the house and check to see if they have running water and whatever the basic stuff. But when the people from the health department went there, are they telling me that this low-income house that was given to this doctor or awarded to this good doctor, whether she get it for free or they pay for it? Everybody know what a low-income house is. A low-income house is basic. It's a front room, a dining area, your bedroom and your kitchen. That is what was turned into this home. They start putting on some addition now. But I am pretty sure when the Department of Health went there, what is there now was not there when they did the check. And I am very disappointed in the health system here in St. Kitts. I work in the healthcare system for 20 plus years. So I have a very good understanding of what is required for health and safety in the hospitals and the nursing homes. And a good model nursing home, if you ever come to St. Kitts, I'll take you to a place called the Grange. That is a good model of a nursing home, standard of a nursing home here. But this little place up there, like I said, if you had 4 persons in there, 5, even 6, I would say it's comfortable space, because if you're going to have patients in a place, you should have space to walk around. If somebody get sick, you should be able to use a piece of equipment to resuscitate them or do whatever. But what is there? There's no space. It's like she packing some 16 to 18 patients in there at a pop of $2,500 and not taking care of the patient as she should. We know, and I know because she told me, that my good friend Concer Edwards was a dementia patient. I always concerned about seeing him walking down the road and other people concerned. So someone with dementia does not come home at 6 o'clock for supper like he should, and you're going to hold out on that till the next day. He's not a normal person to walk away, a dementia patient. That's criminal negligence. I want to know where these police are studying their law. And you're going to tell me you're still investigating. I have a problem with that. Right? And it took a toll on me, because after going day in, day out with the police and whoever came, the police were doing the best with what they had. But the problem is, Culturama started that same week when Brother Cons went missing. And the Culturama festivities in Nevis was more important to send the army and the police and the Bayaraja people over there and whoever else in the party than to try to find Brother Edwards. The celebrations in Tabernacle for the festival was more important. The sessions all around the island were more important. So on any given day, you couldn't find no more than 15, 20 people in a search in this big community. With all of these government agencies out there, non-government agencies out there, and churches alike, and community leaders, and citizens in the Federation, we could not get 20 people out there on a given day. Eventually, on the 7th of August, Brother Bento, on the 7th of August, because remember that, you know, he went missing the Friday. You had this Saturday, the Sunday, the Monday. When we went on that search the Monday, at the end of that search, we didn't find nothing, you know. There was a conversation. We're not sure if they're going to be a search on Tuesday because they're having Juve in Tabernacle and the police going to be needed for the Juve. Just as in Nevis. The police were needed for the Culturama session in Nevis, not to go try and save a life. So there was no search on that Tuesday. Come Wednesday, which was the 7th of August, I couldn't take it no more. You know, there's a song, Lord, I can't take it no more. A reggae song, I couldn't take it no more. So I got up that morning and I saw on social media that the Deputy Prime Minister, who is responsible for aging and education and whatever, is filling in for the Prime Minister who is out of the country. I call Deputy Acting Prime Minister Hanley sometime after 6. Got his voicemail. I hung up and I went to take a shower. When I came out the shower, I saw a message from him. I saw a missed call from this number. Could you tell me who it is and what it's in regards? Now, I know Jeffrey know my number. You know. During the campaign, they communicated with me. So they know my number. the gentleman, the honorable, This is Jeffroy Marisha, aka DJ Marisha. I'm trying to speak to you about an urgent matter, preferably before my broadcast this evening, because I'm going live Wednesday evening. Well, I didn't hear back from Jeffrey. I followed up with a call to the Commissioner of Police. Didn't get him either. I waited and I waited. Later that afternoon, he messaged me and said he was at a funeral, one of his brother passed. So I give him a little leeway for that. Well, come Thursday, the good commissioner did return my call. Wanted to know what it was in regards to. And I give him a pound and a half of my conversation, of how I really felt. At the end, he said to me, he did not realize all of this was taking place. His subordinates did not explain these things to him. I told him, okay, fine. But it's been 7 days since Brother Khan's missing. I must say 8 days since Khan said was been missing. And it's appeared that everybody gave up. I'm not ready to give up as yet. I want to give a final push. If nothing comes of it, then at least I tried my best. He said, okay, what I needed. I told him I needed to support whatever he can provide to assist me ASAP. Friday morning, Saturday morning, wherever you could give me the availability, that's what I need. Well, he told me he can get back to me. And to his credit, I think it was less than 10 minutes, he messaged me and said that he have reached out to the various agencies, Defense Force, Fire and Rescue, Ross University with the Canine, NEMA with the drone, Superintendent Jasper Henry. Henry's name is, well, Carty, sorry. Superintendent Jasper Carty will be my contact with the police. Everything is set for the next morning, 6 o'clock. They will meet me in Saddlers at 6 a.m. to do the search. Well, when all of that was done, partner, I said, well, I need to get the message out to get the community involved. So take a quick listen to what I did, Brother Benter. Okay. I went across to ZIZ, one of Brother Hans Edwards' former employer.
Jeffroy Marisha, a former co-worker of Hans Edwards who has been missing for a week, is asking the public to join a search party on Friday, August 9th at 6 a.m. Marisha shared information about the search party and invited people to participate.
At this time, we're going to start the search the same place that it has been for the last few days. Right on the lawn, at the ball field there, above the line. Anyone so familiar with the scenic railway, there is a line there with the scenic pass. You cross over that railway, and right above there is the playfield, the Saddlers playfield. We're going to meet there on the lawn at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's Friday, August 9th at 6 a.m. And the search party will be led by the police force as well. As usual, it will be Superintendent Jasper Carty will lead the task. I am just one of the coordinators who are trying to get the general public involved.
Marisha stated that communication has been established with security and emergency services to join the search.
The police commissioner, Commissioner Sutton, has informed me that they have reached out to NEMA, the Army, the Fire Department, the police, all of the government entity is being coordinated through Mr. Carty. I am reaching out to the general public to try and get as much bodies as possible on the ground that we could bring home Brother Edwards.
Marisha thanked everyone involved in the search for Hans Edwards and provided contact information for those interested in joining the search team.
And if there anyone that have issue, cannot find the area, they can call me on my phone number. My phone is local 660-0195. That's 660-0195. So, Brother Benter, that was my appeal to the general public to come out and assist that morning. One good thing happened that morning, as bad as it was, is we were a bit late due to Nima showing up a bit late. And when we were about to take off from the area, I got a call from a gentleman who identified himself as a friend of the family of Brother Edwards, and he had his daughter with him that came in the night before from the United States, and she would like to be a part of the search. So I said, why not? We'll wait. So they'll be there in 10 minutes. They were there. Brother Benter, we found Brother Edwards in less than an hour, within an hour of the search when we started. That is on the 9th day. And according to my observation, and I want to thank the good doctor there, Dr. Jensen Morton. Dr. Jensen Morton is the chief, the director of institute there at the JNF Hospital. And when he showed up at the search, to go on the search at the start of the search, I thought he just came to say hi, but he told me, no, he come to assist with the search. So I really want to thank him for his support and everything. He was the person who eventually pronounced Brother Edwards dead. We went up in the hills, and when Brother Edwards was found, I look over at the good doctor leaning up on a vehicle. And I know some people, they don't want to make the first move. I don't have a problem making the first move. So I walked over to the good doctor and I said, good morning, Dr. Stanley. I'm happy that we found Conks. Sorry for the way things turned out. The good doctor looked at me like she looking at a dead wall in the back. Up until this minute I'm sitting here, the good doctor has not said thank you, not a sound. She gave me the impression like she's upset that we found Conks. She didn't want him found. That's the impression I got. Because not a thank you, not a word. So I left the good doctor to herself and went back and sat and wait for whatever to be taking place. And while I sat there waiting on the scene to be processed, I received a call from my good buddy there at the ZIZ Radio, the man they call GQ. And it was a very emotional interview, but I'll play that as well, because there are many people online who might not know the facts behind this matter. And people just talk and talk without having the facts, and the criminals make it look like you're trying to kill them when they're the one killing you. So let's take a listen to that interview from the mountains where we found Brother Edwards.
Yesterday we had on the, in the studio with me, DJ Maurice Shaw. He was here yesterday on the radio, soliciting the help of the public to aid in the search this morning. And during the search this morning, we found out the sad news. I have DJ Maurice Shaw on the line with me. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, GQ. How are you doing?
I'm okay, taking it easy. And of course, you know, the sad news has put a little damp on the morning for good reasons, but I'm okay.
I could understand, because right now, I mean, I was telling someone a while ago, I don't even know how to feel. I have chills throughout my body, throughout my stomach. The water just coming out of my eyes. We pray to God that we found him. Doesn't matter the condition, and yet he's found, and then it's a different feeling because of the fact that he's no longer with us. But I'm happy for the family for closure, but still, nevertheless, knowing that he's gone, it's a feeling that I just can't explain. But at the same time, I just want to take the time out, GQ, to thank you for yesterday, because when I came to you with the appeal to assist in getting the information out for the search this morning, your reaction was so positive, and let's do it, you know, let's cut into your show. You had your show already planned for the day, and you cut into your program to accommodate myself and the Blacks. So I really want to thank you for the initiative that you took yesterday. I want to thank the manager of ZIZ and Brother Cornelius and the team that did the news item last night. I think your contribution went a big way in getting the crowd out this morning. I got many phone calls from around the region, from the Virgin Islands, from New York, who heard the news item and made this thing possible. I want to thank the forces that came out. Albert Rubain of Sadlers here. The people in the community that really came out. We have Morris Leader, former hornman of the Element and Jazz Brass, singing Jackie's husband from yesterday. He been on my case calling, telling me, Maurice, just let me know when you're going again. Jackie wants me to join you in the search for Kant. So it's been a good support. And surprisingly this morning, his daughter, who came in from the U.S. last night, and his brother was able to join the search. So they are here with me at the moment as we wait for the scene to be processed. We are still in the mountains here waiting for the crime unit to process the scene. But it's a very sad day for St. Kitts Nevis. And I would hope that this is a learning process for us. I keep talking about the love and support that we need to give each other. Somewhere along the line, we lost that love that we grew up in here in our beloved Federation. I would hope we don't have another situation like this again. You know, this should be a learning process for all of us. You know, the black is no longer with us.
Maurice, thank you for taking the time out to share. And I'm lost for words right now, my friend. I'm lost for words.
It's understood because I myself, anyone who know me know that when it comes to the music and the disc jockeying and the MC or whatever, my weekly program, words is something that I can find, but at the moment, it's just a down feeling. It's one side is joy to find him, and the other side is a very sad day for myself, for the community of St. Kitts Nevis, and for his family. And I just want you guys to keep us in your prayers and continue to echo the love that is required as a community. Tell them bad boys out there, put down the guns. We don't need this. We need to come together as a community. I want to thank Commissioner Sutton for taking my call and returning my calls yesterday and went out of the way and put things in place for this morning. I want to thank Superintendent Jasper Carty for leading the team this morning, and everyone, Jesse Marisha, everyone that came out and really gave me the support this morning, because it was not an easy morning for me. It was not an easy morning, and we found him in quick time this morning. We want to also thank the folks from Ross University that came out to the canine dog, and the folks from NEMA that came out to the drone system, the fire department, the police, the army. I want to thank everyone for their contribution.
Thank you for your time, and thanks for sharing. Despite that, it is sad news. At least we know what's going on, and like you said, it's a sense of closure.
Yeah.
All right, Marisha, I'll be in touch.
So that was a report from the hills, as I would say, breaking news with ZIZ, with the man GQ. But it didn't stop there. My good friend here from Freedom FM, the big JL, also reached out to me and tried to get some updates for his news item on that day. So let's take a listen to Freedom FM version of what took place.
St. Kitts and Nevis is mourning after the heartbreaking discovery of Constantine Cance Edwards, also known as Lord Black, in the Calypso world. The beloved former radio personality and cultural icon was found dead earlier today, Friday, bringing a tragic conclusion to a week-long search that began after he was reported missing from a senior's home in Sadlers. The search for the 76-year-old Edwards, who was affectionately known as the Buffalo Soldier for his tenacity and spirit, ended in sorrow as his body was discovered deep in the rugged mountains of Sadlers. According to initial reports, it appears that Edwards may have slipped into a gut and was unable to make his way back to safety. The exact circumstances of his death are still under investigation, but the pain of his loss is already being felt across the islands. Edwards, a cherished figure in the community, had taken one of his usual walks into the hills last Thursday, August 1st, but tragically never returned. His disappearance prompted an intense search as friends, family, and community members held on to hope that he would be found alive and safe. Today's discovery, therefore, has shattered those hopes, leaving the community to grapple with the devastating loss of a man who had become a cornerstone of local culture and broadcasting. Conce Edwards was more than just a radio personality. He was a passionate advocate for local music and culture. During his tenure at ZIZ Radio and Television and Freedom FM, he hosted the National Showcase program, a platform dedicated to promoting local music and celebrating the richness of Kitishan and Nivision heritage. Freedom FM spoke to DJ Jeffroy Marisha on Friday morning, who was part of the search party. And this is what he had to say. Well, the nation is in mourning this morning after hearing of the tragic loss of life to Conce Edwards, also known as Lord Black in the Calypso world. The former radio personality and cultural icon was found dead earlier today. Now, we have Jeffroy Marisha on the line, and he was part of the search party that discovered the body of the lifeless Conce Edwards in Sadler's Mountain. Good morning, Marisha.
Good morning, the Big JL. How are you doing?
Not doing too good, but giving thanks for life, bobbing and weaving, as we say. What can you tell us about the search party this morning and what was discovered at the end of that?
Brother JL, first I want to say, yesterday, well, not yesterday, but the previous day, I reached out to the Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Sutton, in an effort to get a final push to try and search for Brother Edwards. I also spoke to the acting Prime Minister, Deputy Hanley, about an effort, the nation's effort to find Brother Edwards. And I received a call back from Commissioner Sutton yesterday morning, and I gave him my views as I speak very plainly to everyone I speak to, that I was not satisfied with the overall effort by the communities and the forces in trying to find or locate Brother Edwards that missing since last Thursday evening. And after outlining my position on the matter, Commissioner Sutton said, Mr. Marisha, I heard you. I know you are on the ground, and I know you're a community person, and I appreciate the candid conversation. I can assure you that I will put things in place to accommodate your request for a search in the morning. He told me to get back to me in a few minutes, and he did, within 10 minutes, send me a message that he has mobilized the various forces, NEMA, Fire and Rescue, the Army, our Defense Force, Police, and other individuals, Ross University with the canine dog, the drone from the NEMA, and they will be available to meet with me on Friday morning, August 9th, at the Sadler's Playing Field to go and locate Mr. Edwards, sorry. And from that point, I said, well, boy, I remember back in the days, the Big JL was the man in charge at ZIZ during the time where Conce Edwards and I worked at ZIZ and via Galloway and the crew. So I decided, let me go across to ZIZ and speak to who is there and find out what they can do in regards to do an outreach to the community. And when I got there, looking for Jazzy D, I understand she was on vacation. So I asked who's in. They said GQ. And after speaking with GQ, he explained to me that he was doing a program and he would interrupt his program to accommodate my request, which I thank him for. And then he went and got the manager for the station who came and spoke to me about doing an on-camera interview to reach out to the general public.
Yeah, well, we saw that interview on ZIZ, and you did a very good job in outlining research and what you intended to do, and the forces that were being mobilized to search for Lord Black. Now, I want to ask you this, Marisha. It appears from the reports that I got this morning here at Freedom FM that the body was found in the mountains of Sadlers, and according to reports, it seems as if Conce may have slipped into a gut from a ravine.
Correct.
You were there. What did you observe?
Well, what I observe, and I really leave it up to the powers that be in terms of the autopsy to bring the facts. But my observation is that Kans has been missing for now, 7-8 days. But based on what I observe, yes, I have said to individuals, as a matter of fact, we just had a debriefing there with the team, and we found Kans this morning within an hour of search, which speaks volume because we've been searching for days and have not came up with anything. And the area in where he was found, I myself passed through there several times, including yesterday morning, but when I'm telling the team, let's go through the grass area, they say, no, he would not go through any grass, but he went through a grass area. However he get through there, it was through a grass area where it appears as though he fell over a cliffside.
Oh, boy.
And the position in which he was, it's clear that to me, he was trying to come back up, never made it back up. And if I am to give some kind of judgment, I'm not a doctor, but based on my observation, Kans die within the last 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
And as I said to the officers, not to blame themselves for the situation, because I am of the view, where we found Kans this morning, are the remains this morning. Monday when we was in that area, even if we had gone there, Kans would not have been there on Monday. He'd been traveling. And the distance up in the mountain that we find him, I could be wrong with my assertion, but it's more than 2 miles up from the main road. 2-3 miles up in the mountains. There's a very dense area up there. So he's been walking for days. And in his condition, again, working in the hospital industry, and sometimes folks with dementia and those things, when you hear certain sounds, whether thunder, lightning, rain, you're not going to come out and face the general public. You're going to hide. You're going to try to protect yourself because you are disoriented. My only disappointment, Joni, and I cannot hide it because, I'm a plain speaker. And I hope going forward we can learn from this. When somebody's report missing, I know even in America they got this thing about you have to be missing for 24 hours before you start searching. If we know the person and we know the situation, we need to start right away. Too many people saw Kans that evening before when he disappeared for us not to find Kans earlier. Had folks take the initiative and report properly. I am here in the Federation. Me, I'm a community man. If I hear something, I'm going to start on it without anybody else. I'm going to push. And when I look at yesterday as a week passed by and I said people hope start getting dim and nobody going to be looking, that is why I reach out to the Commissioner of Police and say, listen, do me a favor. Let's do one last big push.
Okay.
Let's do this. If I don't find him today, then I'll accept the fact that Kans is gone. We're not going to find him, but let's do one last big push. And I really appreciate the Commissioner for accepting my appeal, accommodating me, and like I say, finding him within an hour of the search. Is a big accomplishment. We don't like the result, but the idea of giving closure to the family. The Conniver dog there, the canine from the Ross University played a big part in us locating Kans. The drone from the NEMA played a big part, and the police and defense force. Everybody's contribution, the community involvement. We need to get the community back to communicate to the police. That thing that we used to have back in the days is that any longer journey. We need to get the community and police back together so that things like this will not happen again.
All right, Marisha, I want to thank you. We're out of time. I'm recording this for the news. But are there any final thoughts? We know in the days coming up, there's going to be more analysis, more reviews of what happened and why it happened. So we're going to hear from you again in the not-too-distant future. But what are your thoughts on Kans's demise? Basically, we know that he was a community guy himself. He'd done so much. He was an icon in broadcasting, on radio, on ZIZ, and here on Freedom FM, he did a Saturday night show from 9 until whenever he decided he got tired, He would say 9 to 12, but 3 o'clock he's still on, He was that kind of person, very engaging, very loving, very considerate kind of guy, very giving and loyal to a fault. And so we really missing Kans Edwards at this time. Are there any closing thoughts, Marisha?
Well, my closing thought, as I said on ZIZ yesterday, is because of Kant's why I ended up at ZIZ to be one of the disc jockeys there. And at the time, you were the general manager at ZIZ, very accommodating. And Kant was someone who, as I say, is very giving, very helpful, always there for me. He was like a brother figure. You know, whenever he visits the States or the Virgin Islands, they come to St. Kitts. I mean, anyone know me. Kant is like a brother from another mother. And some of us look at status in terms of finances and having stuff. Kant did not have to have anything. Kant just loved people. Kant just go out and help. And I'm going to miss him dearly.
Likewise.
Because the situation is, I have seen what Kant have done for people, helping people. People like Sage. I mean, I met Kant and Sage together for years, and it's the same love I have for both of them. You know, I met them living together, and words right now is getting the better of me. But all I can say, my love for Kant is just like any other brother, just the same as with you, Junior. I mean, I just tell people sometimes we call a spade of a particular situation, and people take it to a next level. But you have to be able to tell your brother your opinion without falling out and getting upset with each other. And that was Kant. No matter what I would say to Kant, Kant never get upset and stop talking to me and that kind of stuff. There was always love.
Marisha, thank you so much for your thoughts this morning. I appreciate you. When I called you this morning and indicated I'd like to have you on Freedom News, you said yes without any reservations at all. And you've come and made your points. And here we'd like to send out condolences to the grieving family, the loved one, the friends, the fans, everybody who knew Kant Edwards, knew what he was about. So thank you again, Marisha, and we'll talk again soon.
And Junior, don't forget, Kant have a song this some years ago, you know. So I rate Kant as a prophet because Kant sing a song they want to know why you're balling for. It appears as though he knew what was going to happen. So we must not ball. Let's celebrate Kant.
All right.
So I'm calling on the community at this time for us to celebrate Kant.
Yeah, Brother Bentas, your mic is closed. So with all of that background information that I presented there, I just want the general public to know the type of person that we're dealing with in this doctor, this good doctor, who don't have a heart. And I think she was just focusing on money and not the care of a patient. That is my honest assessment and my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the things that I did with the permission of that doctor when I checked my relative into that home last January 23 to the 2nd of September, I just took my family out. And she has a problem with me removing my family from that home. But she don't have a problem with what she did, which is wrong. Now, I set up a WhatsApp group with the daughters and son of my relative. I add the doctor to that group, even though she was reluctant, she agreed, because I wasn't going to settle for less. I asked the good doctor even once a week whether everything is okay with my relative or not. Just put a note to say she's okay. That's all I asked. Just put a note to say she's okay. And she agreed to it. I got the phone. The WhatsApp is there to show. It's months. There has been no communication from the good doctor. She avoids speaking to me because when she needs money, she reach out to my cousin in Anguilla. My cousin got to go for this test. She got to go for physio. She got to this, she got to that, and they send money to her without me knowing. Now, from last January to present, with all those tests and physio and doctor visits that she has claimed she did to my family, there's not one receipt to show. There's not one result in the chat for me to know what the findings are. The monies that comes from Social Security to her account or to her home, the kids of my family pays the difference. The last week of every month, in advance, the bill is due on the 1st of the month, but in advance, she get that portion from Social Security for the pension monthly. No receipts. I bought a brand new phone from Flo, gave it to my family so that the kids can stay in touch. After a couple of days, she said she don't recommend my family have a phone. Later on, I realized why. Because my family will be giving updates, and she didn't want that. The phone was there, and I don't think this good doctor understands what technology is about. I realized in the group chat, there's a message from Flo that the number for that phone have changed. It's very simple. The number for that phone have changed because whether the good doctor or one of our workers take that phone and put in a different chip and use in my family phone. When I came and I inquired about the phone, so a couple of days later, the phone resurfaced without a charger. I still leave the phone there. Well, recently, when I decided to take my family out, well, if you're going to tell me that you have my family in a home and you had an incident of somebody who went missing and eventually died, and you don't see it fit to reach out to the family who is paying you monthly for this person to say, well, we had an incident at the home, but your family is in good care, whatever, nothing. My families are overseas. Over a month, Cans went missing, dead and buried. No contact from the good doctor. What I know is what I learned here because I'm on the ground. Not a phone call. No communication. So I said, okay. I made arrangement to take my cousin out of the place. But just as I put her in there quietly, I decided I'm going to take her out quietly. Because in my view, the powers that be, the police, the Department of Health, the Ministry of Health, whoever, if these people was doing their work from the time Cans was found dead, if not before, that home should have been shut down forthwith. Those patients should have been relocated to someplace temporarily until this investigation is over. If there was a storm and that home had get knocked down, the Red Cross would have kicked in other areas. This is a storm. A man dead. A man disappeared. He's missing. He's found dead. He's buried. There must be some answers. There must be consequences to that home. That home should still not be operating. So Cans is gone, and I decided I'm going to remove my family member. And I had to think about not putting my family member to too many stress while I'm taking her out of there, because she does not have the ability or capacity to deal with it. I also did not want to get her staff involved. I also did not want to get the other patients involved. So in my good judgment, I thought I'm doing this good doctor a favor. In my good judgment, I already know that she get paid in advance for her place. My cousins are going to be there for September. So I reach out to Social Security to stop the payments for September. And I thank them for that. They took care of that. Now my family and I discussed that whatever monies is owed, let the good doctor provide an invoice and the money will be paid. No argument. Whatever is owed to the good doctor, it will be paid. It will be no dispute. Just provide the invoice, what is owed to you, you will be paid. That is what we discussed. It said to me, go ahead and do what I need to do. I could not give the good doctor any advance notice because I don't, after all I went through with Cans and the way she dealt with me, I didn't have any confidence in her doing right by my family if I gave her any long notice. So I knew I was going to remove her on the 2nd of September. On the 1st of September, on a Sunday afternoon, I went across to the care home to speak to the good doctor to inform her what is taking place, and I'll be removing my cousin the next day. When I got there, they said she was not in. They tried reaching her on the phone for me. She could not be found. So I left a message to let the good doctor know that I came by and I'll be picking up my cousin the next morning between 10 and 11 a.m. And that followed with a series of messages from the good doctor on the Monday morning. So let me see if I can find those messages here, because it's amazing how this good doctor could lose a whole patient, not $1, not 50 cents, a whole patient found dead. She has the monthly payment for the family of that person. From what I understand, she never reimbursed them yet, but the man dead and gone. That good doctor. So I don't understand why she think he was okay. But I received a message that Monday morning, and the message says, "Good morning, Mr. Marisha. I was informed by my staff that you'll be picking up Joan at the home, taking Joan from the home today. Could you please confirm if that's so?" I said, yes, I will be picking her up at that time. So she said to me if there was any issue, and I told her we will talk when we see each other. She said, okay, we will speak on Wednesday. So I sent her a WhatsApp message. I said, good morning, Dr. Stanley. Yes, I will be coming to pick up my cousin at 11 a.m. this morning. I came to see you and her. I came to see her and to speak with you yesterday, but your staff told me you were not in. She tried calling you. She did not get you. I asked her to inform you that I'll be picking up Joan in the morning. She responded and said, this is my personal phone number. No, one of the policy and one of the arrangement that I have with that good doctor, when I check my cousin in there, she must be accessible when I call. I must be able to know what's going on with my cousin at all times. But for months, I cannot get in touch with her. The phone number I had for her all of a sudden changed. So this is a personal number. She sent me, said that I can be contacted on WhatsApp until tomorrow. That is when I found out she was out of town. So you're out of town. You have patients in your place. If anything should happen to these patients, who is responsible for them? Which doctor taking care of them? You're just focusing on your money and whatever you're out there doing, God knows, right? So I'm happy that I removed my family from there. She said, we can speak on Wednesday if that is good for you. Just give me a time, I will make myself available. That's no problem. She said, is there an issue? I said, when we see each other, when we speak, I will speak to you. She said, very well, see you soon. Be good. I said, when I pick up my family, I realized that they never gave me any medication. And I want to believe people in a home should have medication. So again, I message her. I said, hi, Dr. Stanley. I am having Joan checked out. Is there any health concerns that I need to let the doctor know? Is she on any medication? I didn't hear back from her. So I got a message sometime in the afternoon. She said, good afternoon. Why didn't you speak with the nurse at the home? You didn't let me know you was going to do that. Things are done like that, Mr. Marisha. I would need to give you proper referral notes. I have to make sure everything is done in an appropriate manner. I asked you this morning if there are any issues. You said we will speak. This is something you could have mentioned to me. I don't see any issue if you take her to go and get checked out, but you should have informed me. This is not how we function, sir. She tried calling me. I did not get the call. She sent me a message. I am trying to contact you. I was actually driving when she called me the second time. I messaged her. I said I was driving. I will call you back. When I got home, I messaged her. I said, good afternoon, Dr. Stanley. Joan will not be coming back to your facility this evening. Please let me know when you're available to speak. Thanks. She responded, I can speak now. Well, she wasn't available until Wednesday. But this is Monday, she could speak now. I see 2 missed calls. I see a message trying to call you, not getting through, another missed call. About 7:59. Good evening, Mr. Mawisha, trying to get you. Are you available? On September 3rd, good morning, Mr. Mawisha. I am able to see you today at 4 p.m. I said, good morning, Dr. Stanley. I am available where we meet. She said, at my home. So, thanks, no problem. So you're welcome. That afternoon, we're going to meet at 4 o'clock. But at 3:43, while I'm outside of her home waiting, a message came in. Mr. Mawisha, I had a meeting that I was supposed to finish at 3. We are still here. Please can we move our meeting to 5 p.m.? Good afternoon, no problem. Sorry for the inconvenience, I should claim. Right? Now, she eventually came. And we spoke at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And I explained to her. I said, let's not have no long conversation, Dr. Stanley. Let's have no long conversation. I brought my cousin here last January. You know what the arrangement we had? A lot have happened. I'm not satisfied with the way things has been going. Your attitude is whack. And the situation with Cons Edwards, I just could not leave my family here. I did not want to tell you over the phone. I'm here to let you know that I will move my cousin from your space. What I need from you is her things. And I basically call out everything that is needed, including receipts, her medical records, and an invoice with your final bill. The good doctor is telling me, well, you all owe me $2,500. $2,500 is the base fee for the month. You already get paid for August. This is September 2nd. You're not owed any $2,500. So give me a bill. I don't need to give you a bill. You owe me $2,500. And I said, well, okay. When you decide to give me the bill, the invoice, sorry, the kids will pay you your money. Until such time, let me know when we can pick up this stuff. She told me tomorrow around the same time. It happened that the next day was Wednesday when I do my podcast. And I actually forgot that CPL was coming and I'm going to start early. So the morning, Wednesday morning, I called the good doctor. And I tried to explain to her that I couldn't make it at 5 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. If I could come earlier or the next day. Well, the good doctor didn't idle with me. Screaming and shouting about how I'm dishonest to take my cousin out of the home and didn't give her advance notice and going on. And I said, I thought we went over all of this last night. You say you understood. I did not say anything to your staff because I did not want to get your staff into your business. I want to speak to you directly. Whatever you choose to tell your staff, that is between you and your staff. All I want was a smooth transition to get my cousin out of your place. Now you can go and tell your staff what you want to tell them. She said, okay, she understands, fine. That was the conversation on Monday afternoon. But she come screaming. And when she finished screaming and I told her I'm not going to listen to her nonsense, she hung up the phone. And a series of texts came in. a series of WhatsApp messages. This is at 6:40 a.m. Good morning, Mr. Mawisha. The payments to the home should have made on the 18th. Care has been given to her, even without payments. Then until now, today is the 4th of September without payment. I removed my family on the 2nd, not on the 4th, on the 2nd. Payments begin on the 1st. A decision was made to remove her from the home without even paying payment of debt to the home, and cancellation of payment method were done before patient left the home. Yes. All of that was done because had Social Security sent the payment to you, you would not reimburse us. Just as canceled was family waiting for their reimbursement, we would not have get any. That is why I canceled it. Not because we don't want to pay you what is owed to you. Whatever is owed to you, you will get it. This is about the health and safety of my family. Cancer is not here, but my family is here. She continued with her rant. That is in my eyes inconsiderate, dishonest, and breach of contract that was made between you and myself. Well, they go, doctor, if you and I had a contract to take care of my family for $2,500 a month, you breach it first because you did not provide the service that I contracted you for. So let's start speaking about who breached first. A whole man went missing from your facility, found dead by yours truly. Not a thank you. No communication to the family. We're talking about breach of contract. Let's speak breach. She continued. I am also owed 300 EC for use of Pampers from the institution. No money was spoken about for Pampers on Monday when she asked me for 2,500. But I guess she realized now that nobody owed her 2,500, so she's looking other ways to collect money. So she wants $300. Go, doctor, write the invoice. Whatever money is owed to you, you will be paid. That's not my concern at this time. My concern this time is the place to be closed down for the health and safety of the people that's in there. As a doctor, I don't know what kind of doctor you be, but your license should be revoked or be on suspension pending the outcome of this case. And that is what I am working on. I will not stop until that place is closed, pending some kind of evaluation and ensure that anyone who's going to that home is safe. Another cancer is not going to happen while I am alive. So this is where I'm at. This is where I am working. Haran continues. Management states that payment must be made by Friday, which was last Friday, or legal action will be taken. I look forward to it. I look forward to speak to whoever in the legal system about what transpired between January of last year to present. Let them tell me how much I should pay you. You will get your money. Let the legal system tell me how much you are owed. I'll be happy to pay. Have a good day. I said to her, I need the invoice. She said, I will provide an invoice to yourself with all fees that are owed to Renewed Life Elder Care Limited. I expect payment. It's no problem. So where we are, I have not received my family's articles, clothing, brand new clothing, more than 20 plus, 30 plus sets of brand new clothing and other stuff. Her phone, her charger, her wheelchair. Everything that I requested and the invoice to date, today, the 11th of September, have not received nothing from that good doctor. So my cousin's son had to go and purchase clothing in order for her to have clothes to wear. Well, I'm telling the good doctor, you know, while she's submitting her bill, I'm going to submit the bill for those new clothes that is purchased as well. And those clothing and wheelchair and phone that you don't have, you better find them. It's going to be a very hot summer and a very hot winter where you and I is concerned. My rest of my family, they don't have the time to stress themselves out with you, good doctor. But DJ Mawisha has the time. And I will not stop until the powers that be in this country do the necessary evaluations of your facility and make sure that people get what they're paying for, because ain't nothing in that that is key about patient. It's about the dollar. But Benta sent you a document about the policies on a nursing home in Barbados. Do you have that document?
I sure do.
Could you run through it for me, what a nursing home should do?
In a nursing home, of course, but where I want to take you to, though, much more better for you, is the treaty of which St. Kitts and Nevis signed when it comes to the review when it deals with our seniors and so forth in your country. There is a treaty signed by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in 1988. And what that treaty invokes is one that goes into protection of the elders. And in that, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, through this article or this treaty, engaged in moving the act forward in 1998. Special provisions have been made for indigent persons to receive assistance in the terms of housing, food, medication, and funeral and grants, and so forth. And in that, through the Ministry of Health, who is the overseer of all of these programs, right, mandated by the treaty, it imposed on them to allow or license homes to treat seniors, those who may have gaps in shortfalls of many ailments, and the homes are required to have all aspects of the services to make sure that the seniors who are within their care are being taken care of in respect to the ailments they may have or otherwise. That is a treaty that is signed into law by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. And as such, in listening to what you're explaining, the ministry itself has an obligation under the treaty, based on what's happening. Of course, you have to prepare some documents to them to represent you and the person of whom was under the care of an authorized agency by the ministry. And the ministry itself now needs to step in and do their part, but it's going to require for you as a movement to provide to them certain documentations. You know, I bleed here listening to this, and I tell you, it's a heart-wrenching feeling. And I want to commend you for looking out for a senior. And there's so many of our seniors that are out there who are by themselves. And there's so many of our seniors out there who are left to fend for themselves with their families who have forgotten that they exist and what they have done for them along the way. And when it comes to our government and the responsibility of a government, under the health services program and the nursing homes of seniors and senior citizens, based on what should be in place, is that the senior citizen home is supposed to have everything required for that patient. The person in charge of a home is a medicine nurse or medical practitioner. And in as such, as a medical practitioner, registered by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to the Nursing or Doctorates Association and to the Medical Association under the umbrella, they're the overseers to make sure that there's check and balances, not that the responsibility is solely upon that institution, but the government themselves must have documentation of visits, inspections, to make sure that the centers, the facilities are in accordance with what they should have on staff as far as employees, supplies and equipment, and each person individually who is in the program, despite the family members are the one who have placed them there, it is based on what the services is based on the treaty that the institution must follow based on the government's requirement in order to run the business. So there's another avenue. Barbados now, they have their own and it's very well defined. The provision is made to satisfy the chief medical officer to ensure that suitable medical attention is available whenever required for every patient therein. And as such, it means that no person in charge of a home is no person in charge of the home is registered medical practitioner or registered nurse or can satisfy the chief medical officer that he is competent in the science of gerontology and so forth for the patient. So there's a lot of requirements. You're asking questions of them to make sure that certain things are in place, they're not answering, that you are in touch based on the agreement that you've had with the facility, there's a violation there, that upon your call and so forth, that your family should be available for you to have communications with them to verify that they're okay as well. And the suitable space, as you mentioned earlier, how close people were, like if they were in cots and less than a feet between each other, individuals defecating in less than X amount of feet from the other, in a pan. I mean, all those things are the bench and the sense of inhumane treatment, if this is what we're talking about for a center of service. So I refer to you to the treaty, which is your gold mine, to follow that treaty that was signed in 1988. And as such, the ministry provided the amount of individuals through the social assistance arm of the Ministry of Social and Community Affairs. A home care program was established in June 2000 to meet the needs of elderly persons in their homes. It says 8 communities across St. Kitts. This program employs a total of 14 workers covering 275 elder clients. Additionally, ties to the home care program with the community health program are also being strengthened. Special homes for elderlies were established in Sadler in 2003. This is under the Ministry of Health now authorization, and accommodations for 7 persons has been staffed of the 4 persons who work on shift. The social assistance officer make referrals and so forth. And in such, being at the Ministry of Health for the country, the Ministry of Social and Community Affairs, they are the umbrella when it comes to this complaint, because they too also must have records of all of the services which the agency has been provided, all of the medication that we have been distributing to each of the patients who are there, and all of each bath, all of every service otherwise. And also it goes into a certain time of the year, I think it's October, that there are programs structured for the seniors alike. And as such, it becomes a thing where the records, and if the records and data are not where they should be, they're in violation of the treaty. So this is one of the things that you have, strong document that St. Kitts has. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a very strong document that was signed and by not only the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, but it also goes into the American states and has been ratified. The requirements of this charter is since 1984. The country has also adopted the additional protocols with which has emerged from said charter, in particular the American Convention of Human Rights in the area of economics and social and cultural rights. So this means that your court of adjudication is open to every court throughout the United States as well for filing. And that's where, when you spoke as far as the issue with MSR, as far as where it's at as well, this treaty also governs that if you are trying to adjudicate a matter under the circumstances and the purviews of it, of which has been violated, as this document is completely thorough as far as what is expected, any of one or the other is short, then they're in violation of the treaty. So you have a gold mine in your hand. So I would encourage, and I hope for parity, I do hope that they're listening, that the service they're providing to our loved ones, our moms, our dads, our grandparents, is one that we cherish, and we will go above and beyond to make sure that these services are provided. Some conscience and some heart. Anyone gets into this sort of program is one that people will look to that has that sort of dedication and care. And we will value our loved ones. Some we can't take care of because of the special needs. We know that. But for those young men and women and children who have your parents within these centers, please check. Because they have walked a mile for you more than you could ever walk for yourselves. And as such, here it is, listening to you, and my heart bleeds, Brother Marisha. I listen to you and the situation with your aunt, and then, of course, our great esteemed gentleman who we've lost by negligence, really, and the time that it has taken to date for the proper investigation to be conducted. No report which was collected. If it is collected, then the ministry should have it, and the ministry should then make it affordable or available to the family of the individual who is the deceased, because it is a government, it's not a private document. And as such, you will be able to purview or review all of the aspects of the shortfall, if there's any, and then the family can take action as needed under the treaty.
Brother Benta, you are my hero. As usual, you are very thorough with what you do. The document you just referred to, never heard of it. So thank you. Get it to me. Now, now, with all that you just said to me there, I went to the Ministry of Health trying to get some information. They said they don't have anything. Now, I find it hard now to believe that with that document you just read from, that the Department of Health does not have this information. And if they don't, the ministry should have this information.
Well, the series treaty number is 69, 1988, entered into November 16, 1999, and reprinted in basic documents pertaining to human rights and so forth, the American system and so forth. And it was engaged or signed in by your St. Kitts and Nevis and such dates. So I'll get the documents to you.
Thank you. Now, Brother Benta, I know we're getting close to the time for CPL, so I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to let the good people online know this. The information providing to you this evening is come from the kind compliments of Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises. They have their supermarket and stuff over there in the Molineux area. They have their bakery there in the Boria estate. I understand they have a death in their family as well, so my condolences goes out to the family. And wherever you guys see Brother Jeff Freights, give him a thumbs up, thank him for his contribution, because their contribution, Brother Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises, Brother Warner, Eustace Warner there at Warner's One Stop, Gloria Hutchinson there at the Smart Fit store on Central Street next to Skellek, and Brother Romeo Paris Pharmacy. What these, well, Sister Pearl in the UK and Sister Hazel Claxton in the Bronx, New York. These individuals thus far have made contribution to the initiative that I started 2 weeks ago. And that initiative is in honor of Brother Conce Edwards as part of his legacy. What I did was reach out to a daycare. There are several struggling daycares in the Federation that have reached out to me for help. I reach out to the government to assist these daycares. Other small businesses reach out to me for help. And I have been trying to maneuver and get the attention of the ministries to help these people. So far, no success. But I have hopes that with what I am doing, they will wake up and do what they need to do. So what I did in honor of Brother Conce Edwards, for part of his legacy, is I asked one of those daycares to interview a single parent, a female, who is capable of providing the services that they need at the daycare. That was done. They sent the name of the person to me, and I approved that person to start work on the 2nd of September. So far, I have made 2 weeks payments for that individual. I was at an event last Saturday where a daycare there in K1 celebrated 35 years of service. I happened to see the young lady. She was pointed out to me. She has a daughter that sang the national anthem word for word, very talented. And the actions of this young lady and everything that I saw at that event, I'm pleased that the monies that I'm raising, my efforts is going to good use. because there's a family that is getting a weekly salary. Their Social Security will be paid. That the kids getting the assistance that they need. Because Brother Bentai pointed out something last week, and at the end of the week, an incident happened last week. I was speaking about the ratio of whether patients or students when you have a class or people that take care of these elderlies. Sometimes there's a 5 patient to a nurse or 5 student to a teacher. I believe, though that may work from science, practically, you need more than that. You need a floater. There are some kids like DJ Marisha. During my days going to school, I needed more attention than the average kid. In my adulthood right now, I'm the same way. I love attention. I give attention and I want attention. So you need to give me a special teacher to deal with me, right? And I am saying to these folks here that we elected to office, we got to cut out the politics. Not because you don't like somebody, or because somebody might vote against you. Whatever it may be, let's deal with the issue because the kids. DJ Maurice have a very soft spot for elderlies, a very soft spot for kids, a very soft spot for women, for ladies, for young girls. I got a little baby girl there. I never get myself into no trouble. But if anybody mess with my baby girl, they're gonna have a problem. Any family of mine that you mess with, as a matter of fact, you're gonna have a problem if I get to you first. So I am appealing to our people. Look out for your elderlies. These homes that we have out there, not just the one in Sadlers. We need to pull them up. But before we pull them up, we got to pull up our government to do the right thing. Because the impression I was getting when I came here this evening is that there's no document. There's no legislation for homes. But there's something to work with. And I'm going to work with it. So I'm going to go back to see the CMO, you know. I will be visiting the CMO office. Very lovely young lady. Very approachable. She listens. And if she does not have this document, Brother Benta, I'm going to take it to her. Because Hans Edwards' life must not be gone for naught, as we would say in St. Kitts Nevis. Mm-hmm. That home should have been closed by now. And should be closed with immediate effect. That is the simple. I took my family out because I don't have the power to go and close a door. The police told me they don't have the power to go and close a door. They never give her any license. Mm-hmm. Where somebody got the power, you know, because the document you just read from there. There are some powers in there. Mm-hmm. So I will find out who have the power to put the lock on that door. Mm-hmm. And I will not stop until those doors are closed and the proper investigation is done. We can't just be only talking about criminals, folks with guns, folks with drugs. We got some white-collar criminals out here killing people. At all levels. And you know, Brother Benta, it's 3 minutes to 7, so you're not going to do a little overtime. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to drop a track here and come back and give you a chance to do your final closing. But this conversation is not going to end tonight. Mm-hmm. We're going to continue next week because I am going to see the CMO and I need some answers. That home must be closed pending proper evaluations. Stand by, Brother Benta.
Can we be liberated when we are so confused? This country is so divided. There are so many different views. Every finger's pointing away from its owner. We're shouting blame crying shame, but all are guilty just the same. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country could live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Some campaigning, some dictating. Everybody want to control. There's no process for creating an awareness of greater social and economic goals. This system has got to go, or we will suffer more. The power only working for a society privilege you. So true. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah. Despite the differences our eyes have seen, we need political unity. Be ready to unite and to work, not fight. Stand up for justice and for right. Break down the barriers in this land. Stand between the working man who died so long, worked so hard, get so little out of life. Got it right. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brother Benta, as we bring the curtain down to yet another Wednesday evening, your closing.
Thank you, and I want to thank everyone for listening. I pray that those who have the control or the wherewithal to correct this vexing issue, really, when it comes to the seniors, do stand up and realize that they too may be sitting in the same cradle or the same wheelchair or laying in the same bed one day or the other. We don't speak it into existence because it's not what we want, but at the same time, we live in a practical world. And to DJ Marisha, I want to thank you for having me this evening. And I listen very attentively to the information you provided this evening. And I know that every single human being who's been listening tonight with a passion of understanding, care, love, and concern for their loved one or anyone that they too will sympathize with you and understand. Even the nurses alike, or other physicians elsewhere who's listening would understand that this is not something we play with when it comes to people's loved ones or the human factor in any form or fashion, that we do our best to receive the best or achieve the best in healthcare as we can for each and every one of us. And thank you so much for having me this evening.
Thank you, Brother Benta, as usual, for your presence here and your investigatory duty. You really is a true chief of police, police commissioner, because when I give you the information to find, you do find them.
That's right.
You do find them. You don't leave no stones unturned. So
no, I gave you the best. So you're good to go.
All right,
yes.
Good. So let's say good evening to some folks over there in the UK. Sister Idita Markman, good evening. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Brother Dave Warner. Valerie Hamilton Tyson, how are you doing? And Queely, Yvonne Jeffords. Brother Jeff Pemberton, how are you doing? Susie Warner. Cora Bennett, good evening. How are you doing? Lawrence Wharton. Hope all is well. Dennis Stapleton. Brother Mervyn Nigel Leader, how are you doing, brother? The Patriots need some batting. They need to come help them out. Smelter Jeffords, how are you doing? Lovely Lavi Gums, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you. I think your program will be at 8 this evening. I'll tune in and hear what you have to say. Rutland Hill, how are you doing? Montclair, Tito Sadler, how are you doing? How is the Toronto area there? Terrell Nisbet, Wanda Brown. My mascot there, Dorothy Allen, good evening. How are you doing? Hope all is well with you. Evelyn Elvis William, aka the Man King Freddy, how are you doing? Amon Sargent, how are you doing? Amorel Finch, hope all is well with you, brother Curtis Cook. Lionel El Wussi, Rollins, how are you doing? Welcome, my brother. You're on your return call, my brother. How are you doing? Jeffrey Pemberton, welcome, brother Romeo Paris. Good evening, Margaret Taylor. Leroy Prokop, Sandra Huggins, how are you doing? How is my girl Millie? And my girl Yvonne there. Hope all is well. Gladys Williams, brother Ivor W.A. Henry, how are you doing, officer? Hope all is fine with you. Fanny Hubbard, Marina Adine, Joyce Keynes, welcome. Claudia Thompson, how are you doing? Annette Morton, Avanel Watson, welcome to the ride. Carol Libert, Centric Daniel, brother George Henry. Sister Haley Phipps, how are you guys doing there in Scotland? What time is it there in Scotland, Haley? Montclair McCall, no, Monica McCall, sorry. Hyacinth Gums, Esther Tyson, Roger Fleming, Ingrid Powell, Livingston Brown, how are you doing? Welcome to the ride. Sandra Griffin, Bertram Farrell, Linda Clapp, Mansfield Walters, J.T. Taylor, how are you doing, my brother? Brother Oakland Benter here hanging with me this evening. Marva Brown, Hugh Coleman, Erica Thomas, Cecil Shiverton, Cecil Brown, how are you doing, sister? Calvert Hazel, Sophia Warner, Winston Connor, Beverly Mawisha, good evening, how are you doing? Casilda Francis, Jack Wheat, Anelta Robinson, good evening. Kitishan King, Albert Ruben, welcome to the ride. Dessa Door, Lynn Leaf Verdio. You got some French name there, Sister Lynn. Steve Mills, Daniel Atherton, welcome to the ride. Kevin Dickinson, Susan Love, Janet Everson Powell, welcome to the ride. Jacqueline Hector, Chanel Bass, Juliet Rouse. How are you guys doing? Ivan Davalier, Suzette James, Mela Farms, Elizabeth Zakers, Luther Kelly, how are you doing, my king? How is the umpiring going? How is my boy Julian Pemberton? Jessica Lewis, Olivia David, how are you doing? Brother P. Eustace Hendrickson, how are you doing, my brother? Hope all is well. Gemini Nisbet. Well, if I call all these names tonight, I'll be here till 8, so are you going to have to drop some names till next week? Barnett Tyson, Marvin Phillip, Chelsea Watson, Hilla Brown, Jean Nisbet. My good friends there at the MSR Media, how you guys doing on your end? Triple X Stone, how you doing? Rosita Pontin, Damian Jeffrey, and Julius. Jeanette Guel Hull, how you doing? Marla Isles, Kimber Warner, Adine Daniel, Joanne, Joyce Warner, Tony Keynes, now it's Duggins. And I'm going to leave some of those names. Got to big up my uncle there as well, but Joseph Emmanuel, I want to big up my son there, Jeff Roy Jr. over there in the LA area. How you doing? How is Sister Jazz? How is things there in the LA area? My baby girl there, back to school, dressed up as sharp as ever. Called me and tell me, Daddy, when are you coming to New York? I need you to take me to Legoland. Don't know where Legoland is, but I'm going to have to find Legoland to take my baby girl, you know. And she wants lobster. So I got to find a lobster for my baby girl, and I have to find out where is Legoland to take my baby girl to Legoland. I want to say good evening to my daughter there, Sister Rochelle Marisha. How are you doing? How is the grandkids? My sister Esther there in Tortola, brother Mokish and the kids, my brother Jean Paris there in the New York area. Chantel, how are you doing? And the crew, my uncle Eustace in St. Croix. My brother there called Morris in St. Thomas, USVI. Sister Val Morris, the man Avon Brown, Patsy Brown, Maralf, and crew. My cousin there, brother Ken Benny, how are you doing? How is Sister Pam? Hope all is well. The man Desmond Hicks, hope all is well with you as well. Well, I'm going to drop a few clips here and get out of here because I know you folks want to go and watch your CPL. So I want to just touch up the big folks there at the Island Purified Water here in Newton Ground, St. Kitts. I want to thank them for keeping the DJ hydrated when he's in the Federation. The man Scatter, enough respect, enough love to you and your team. Let's take a quick listen to my boy Carbo one more time over there in Nevis.
Cabos, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Cabos Delicacy Goat Water. Or, if you prefer some soul food, then Cabos Punji and Fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabos and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabos, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over.
Yes, food all over the island of Nevis and St. Kitts. Want to thank my boy DJ Rabuka for that mix. Great job, brother DJ Rabuka, the man Lincoln Hobson. Let's take a quick listen to Sister Carmen.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and sundaes. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food that is finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
Yes, you heard that. You don't want nothing better than that. You just have to check out my girl, Sister Carmen, there Monday to Friday, from Monday to Saturday, down at Shirley in the downtown Bastille area. Let her know that DJ Marisha sent you, and she will definitely organize it. Let's take a quick listen to my boy, brother Malvern comes there from the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Marisha's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Marisha. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Marisha, every Wednesday evening. Facebook, 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Marisha. Log on.
Yes, definitely have to log on a Wednesday evening. Good evening, Sister Gwyneth Marisha. How you doing? Hope all is well. My girl there, Sister Deborah Wallace, my missionary there in Tobago, the man Roger Wallace. Sister Gloria Beard, Victor Beard, Melissa Beard and crew. The man Daniel over there in the Trinidad area. Chanel, hope all is well with you guys. Want to touch Sister Deidre Farrell Smith as well there in the Boogie Down Bronx. Hope all is well. Sister Lynn, hope all is good with you. And as we get ready to drop the curtain down on this one, I'm going to bring to you my unofficial anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise by the late great King Arrow. And this is the season for this song because come Monday, the 16th of September, is going to be the birthday of our first national hero, Robert L. Batcher. That's going to be National Heroes Day celebrated here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, followed by Independence on the 19th of September. So I want to big up the Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew and his team for their hard work, putting everything together for this independence celebration. Folks, I understand you're in independence season, but also you got to be able to chew gum and walk. Let's deal with these issues. This home issue in Saddlers need to be addressed. According to the police, when I spoke to them, they're telling me that they're busy with preparation for independence. So they're going to let me know when they could set up a meeting. That does not make sense. Preparing for independence celebration does not stop crime. We have to be able to deal with the crime when it happened. That crime over there in Saddlers happened since the 1st of August. We are now the 11th of September. Marisha ain't got in a place. I'm staying on this case. I'm staying on this matter. I'm holding you all foot to the fire. This is non-political. As Brother Bento said a while ago, none of us know if we're going to ever end up in one of those homes. So we have to ensure that the right thing is done. In the event that you get there, you know, you put things in place, right? So let's be honest about this and deal with the matter. Good evening, Brother Austin Williams. I hope all is well with you and your wife there, Sister Laura Williams. The man, Brother Francis, the man, Luther Kelly. Hope all is well. This one is called Arise by the late great King Arrow. Take a quick listen to.
unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, the sound of the late, great, the man King Ira himself, as we bring the curtain down for this evening, Wednesday, September 11th. Want to thank Brother Benter for being a part of this program and providing me with those very good information in regards to the senior home there in our beloved Federation. I also want to remind you folks that this program this evening was brought to you with the kind compliments of Brother Jeff Fritz and Sons Enterprises there out of the Molyneux Village there and the bakery there in the Boria area. Also, Brother Eustace Warner One Stop there in Bird Rock. The man Romeo Paris Pharmacy there in Westbourne Gut, and Sister Gloria Hutchinson, the Smart Fit store there, clothing store, Central Street, right next to Skellig. Until such time, my good people, God blessings on everyone. See you next Wednesday. If there's CPL, we'll be back at 5. If there's no CPL, we'll be back at 6. And I look forward to seeing Brother Benter and Screen as we continue this conversation. Have a blessed night all.